Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to watch a review of Mission Impossible 6 and like, favorite, and subscribe if you haven't already.
Subscribe to me!
Yes, subscribe. The link to his YouTube channel will be in below. These are blurry. I'm sweating so damn much. Anyway. Tom Cruise is still Tom Cruise.
Did we expect anything different? No.
So...
Yeah, this is basically the movie that prevented Henry Cavill from shaving for the Justice League.
And,
if you haven't heard that story already.
And he had a better performance in this one than in that.
I saw a GIF a while back of the fight scene where he pumps his hands in the bathroom.
Oh, you mean like this?
No, he does this. But I saw a GIF of him with clean shave, and then he pumps his hands, and then he suddenly has a beard.
I don't remember that shot, but yeah.
No, it's heavily edited, the GIF, but...
No, I mean, no, I don't remember the shot where he does this. I don't know, I mean, a lot was happening in that scene anyway.
Yeah. It was a fun movie. It was a fun spy movie. It became obvious where they were going with it after a certain point.
Yeah, but I mean, we watch a lot of movies, we can...
See the tropes.
Yeah.
It still had enough twists to make you question what was going on.
Yeah.
And they weren't bad twists.
They weren't... What a twists!
No, they weren't that. I was trying to remember his name all of a sudden.
Whose name?
You know who.
The girl who played Elsa?
What a twist.
Oh, you mean M. Night Shyamalan?
Yes, M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. This is going to be completely off topic, but it bugs me whenever I watch a What Culture video and they purposely mispronounce Shyamalan's last name.
Well, that's kind of their shtick, right?
It's not a funny joke, though. It's just like...
You might say it's a shit joke for wankers, hashtag shit joke for wankers.
He left, though.
He did?
Yeah.
Aw, why?
He's doing some other video series called Vidiot. Like, combining video and idiot. I don't know why he left.
I liked him.
And apparently he left. We just have to deal with Jules and his son. But onto the movie.
Yes.
So it basically it starts up 2 years after the last one.
Yeah, the Rogue Nation.
Yeah, where they end up bringing back the villain from that one. They bring back Long, and
it was Lane. Lane.
Lang.
L-A-N-E. Lane. Solomon Lane.
I live on Solomon Lane. I thought that was funny. Solomon, never mind. But yeah, he was basically the main, like, not the main villain, but he was the villain of the movie.
Yeah.
But he didn't get to do much. He was mostly captured and drugged and blindfolded and basically thrown around all over the place until he finally got a fight scene in at the end of the movie.
He's basically the Blofeld or the Lex Luthor of this franchise now.
Yeah, because no other villain has come back for a
Yeah, exactly. They were all killed in the movie that they appeared in.
No, he just gets, I think, I'm trying to remember what they did to him at the end. They threw him in a car, but they didn't say what they were going to do with him, so he's probably going to be back in the next one.
No, I mean, yeah, they were just handing him over to MI6, which, interestingly enough, is the acronym for this movie.
Yeah. I found that really odd.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, when I see, okay, so they're calling this one MI6, but that's the name of the British Secret Service.
Whatever.
They appear in it, but yeah, I mean...
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what happens at the start. Oh.
It just kind of makes me want to see Ethan Hunt versus James Bond.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Get on a death battle.
No, I believe at the start he tries to secure some plutonium.
Yeah, because the leftover of the syndicate that was from the last movie is they're calling themselves the Apostles now, and they want to, well, kind of watch the world burn.
Yeah. they want to burn the world.
Yeah, they want to dismantle the world order and build a new one.
Because apparently, without torture, there is no peace or something like that.
Without suffering, there is no peace. So it's like sort of another variation of you cannot have true suffering without hope.
You just love your Bane. Yeah. And he ends up, it was kind of amusing, he ends up having to shoot Luthor to try and save him.
Yeah, well, because, the hostage situation, right? Like, the terrorists had him at gunpoint, but so...
He was buying plutonium from somebody.
Yeah, a black market dealer.
Yeah.
Who ended up getting shot anyway,
yeah.
so...
So he literally made no... There's, like, it could have just been anyone, and it was anyone.
Yeah.
It really didn't matter who it was.
Yeah.
Because they weren't going to play a role in the rest of the movie.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, it's, they had to secure the plutonium so the terrorists couldn't get it.
And the terrorists got the plutonium anyway.
Yeah, well, basically, the thing you mentioned, what Ethan did is, it kind of plays into a bit of significance in the movie as a theme for Ethan Hunt. He knew Luthor was wearing a bulletproof vest, so he
shot him.
Yeah, here, because he knew he'd be safe.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
He said to him he couldn't think of anything else to do.
Yeah, but this also plays into the theme of the movie that Ethan Hunt will not sacrifice one life to save millions. He will find a way to save everyone.
And he does.
Almost. Except one guy. But,
Oh, right.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alec Baldwin's character is back from the last movie too. Like in the last movie, he was sort of the douchebaggy CIA guy but then he was won over by Ethan at the end of that movie. And now
so in this one, he's giving missions to Ethan.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love how they opened it with basically a dream sequence.
Yeah, I mean, it's a common movie trope.
Yeah. But I wasn't prepared for it, so I didn't realize right away.
I figured it out right off the bat. This is a dream sequence.
It happens at least once more in the movie.
Yeah.
Ethan dreaming of something that didn't end up happening.
Yeah, basically a nightmare,
Yeah. So they have to go meet a broker or an arms dealer called the White Widow to get the plutonium, and they have to go through this really complicated sequence to get it, because that's what they love to do, is make things as complicated as possible.
Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?
But some chick who looks like a knockoff... who's the black chick in Suicide Squad? The character? 'Cause they're basically playing the same kind of character.
I can't remember her name, but yeah.
They're basically... There's a high-up government who was...
snooty, kind of... She wasn't as evil as that one.
No, hell, you don't... No one's as evil as her, but...
No.
But she basically shuts them down, saying that her man's going to go, played by Henry Cavill, whose name was something Walker.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't Herschel Walker.
Or Doug Walker.
Or Walker, Texas Ranger.
Or Jack Walker.
The funny thing is Herschel Walker was a football player. I don't know why I mentioned him.
Or Skywalker.
He loves to, like, every time he meets somebody, he's like, I'm Walker. just randomly out of the blue, I'm Walker. But, yeah. So they had to go to France to meet her, and they had to basically jump out of a plane in a thunderstorm.
And of
one
course,
of them gets hit by lightning.
Yeah, Walker got, like, he's, right off the bat, he's, like, kind of a little too reckless, because he just jumps right into things, and then he gets himself almost killed because of that.
The woman made the best comparison. Ethan Hunt is like a scalpel, while Walker is like a hammer.
Yeah, but...
In their approach, basically. It tells you all you need to know right there about his character. He's, like, just full force all the time.
Yeah, but as this movie showed, a hammer doesn't always work for every situation.
Especially when that hammer is evil!
Evil, 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 evil.
Which is pretty much a spoiler.
Yeah. But I think people can figure it out even from the trailers. I figured it out from the trailers.
Yeah, but they have a complicated, it's like falling sequence where he has to save them and
Yeah, like reconnect his oxygen and all that. And like,
they end up on top of the building and he goes, pretend this is an oxygen tank, and he goes,
you lost your oxygen.
like he's pointing at it. He's like, I'm like, oh.
Like, for fuck's sake, you just saved your life and you're being like,
lost your oxygen tank. Like, this guy is not subtle at all.
it's not that, he's not very good at what he does. I mean, he's not horrible at it or anything. He's not like frickin', what's it, that animated comedy show about spies.
Totally Spies?
No, not that one. No, the one that's on Netflix right now.
I don't know.
The Archer.
Oh, right. Well, that's...
Sterling Archer.
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a parody.
It is, but I'm saying this guy isn't Sterling Archer. He's not horrible, but he's not
He
very
doesn't
good.
do anything to make himself seem like a good guy.
No, and he's not even a very good bad guy in terms of effectiveness. The acting is fine.
Yeah.
The acting from Henry
It didn't
Cavill
take
is good,
away
but-
anything.
No, but
I'm not sure if it added anything either.
I think that it was deliberate that he was shown to be not very good at what he did.
Although they kept saying, he's a trained assassin. He's designed to kill you if you go rogue.
But he was also, a mole, or not a mole, but I mean, like, he was, not who he claimed
A
to be.
double agent?
Yeah, double agent, yeah.
Because the main thing was they were looking for a guy named Jack Lark,
John Lark, I
John
think.
Lark, who was basically the leader of the Apostles. And they had to pretend to be him to go talk to the White Widow.
Yeah.
And they ended up, it was a complicated thing where they had to find a specific security band he was wearing to get access to the room she was in,
Yeah.
the White Widow. And they end up finding the guy, and it's an Asian guy who puts up a really good fight. It was a really intense, interesting fight scene. I love me a good
Yeah.
fight scene. And
Yeah,
they made it look like he could kick two guys. They made it look like the guy trying to be Lark could kick 10 guys' ass all by himself.
Yeah.
Like, he was just overpowering them.
Yeah, but I mean, Ethan was doing a better job than frickin' Walker was. He was just, half the time he was just, lying on the floor going, he hit me so hard,
He did get stabbed chopped in the throat, so,
Still, before that.
It would be hard to breathe for a couple seconds.
Even before that, he was fumbling around while Ethan was doing most of the work.
Yeah, but then Ilsa shows up and just shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
they were trying to knock him out to get his face because they love masks, and they look at him and he's off camera, but they go, I needed a face, alluding to the fact that she blew his head off.
Yeah.
My one issue with the movie was the gun sound, the bullet sounds were way too loud. They were
that's most action movies, though.
we've seen movies this year do it a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Hitman's Bodyguard, the bullets were perfectly reasonable volume. This one's like bang, bang. Ow, calm the fuck down.
The way you said that was too loud.
That was as loud as the bullets were basically in the movie. But come on.
Yeah. Still, I've seen a lot worse examples. My best example of really bad audio balance is Watchmen. It's a fine movie and all, but you actually have to lower the volume by half when you know an action scene is coming up, and then raise it back up again so you can hear the dialogue after it. That's how bad it is.
But they've done so many good shooter movies this year that this shouldn't be a problem anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever. But they end up meeting with the broker and escaping, and they want the broker to trade for the plutonium wants Lane, basically. They want to break him out.
Yeah.
And trade him for plutonium.
Yeah. But of course, there's another plan behind all that.
Yeah, because everyone's scheming, basically. Like,
They're all schemers trying to control their little worlds.
so, I'm trying to, like, they end up setting up a plan to break up a police blockade, and freaking Ethan Hunt plays it really sadistically, because they show like an imaginary sequence of
Yeah.
them killing the cops, and she's like, "Oh, is killing the cops too far for you?" And he's like, "I've killed women and children. There is no line." I'm like, "Geez, dude, calm down."
Well, he's a spy. He has to play it up, right? He's playing a part.
But it's funny that the actual guy that's done that is like standing in the room basically right next to him.
Yeah.
It's like Ethan Hunt's taking credit for what he's done, and I imagine in the back of his head he's thinking, "You son of a bitch, you're taking credit for my work."
He knew what his job was. He
Yeah.
knew that actually the plan was to frame him.
Yeah, but you gotta think there's a little bit of ego in the back of his head that's saying that. There's ego in everybody.
I know, but he knows that part of the
Yeah, the
plan
mission
was
comes
to
first.
frame
But
him.
I know he's thinking that standing there like, if that wasn't his mission, he probably would have been close to nailing it. If he was more arrogant like Lane is, he would probably be tempted to just knock him out, and be like, "How dare you take credit from what I did?"
Yeah, but he would have blew his cover right there. So yeah. Anyway.
Then they go through with the breaking up of the police barricade, but Hunt instead calls an audible and shoves the armored carrier into the river, which is interesting. And then they basically rescue Lane and do a bunch of sciencey stuff. And I love this. The funniest scene to me, the funniest scene was just Lane and Hunt sitting in the car, looking at each other and just not talking, just looking at each other. I'm like, you know, there's so much that could be said, but they're saying so much. It's better that they're not saying anything. You're like, "I hate you." They're suddenly looking at each other and like, "I hate you."
And Lane's just there like,
And randomly he's like, "It's nice to see you again, Ethan."
Lane's just so like casual and kind of unamused at the situation.
Because it's
like,
been freaking 2 years of him being traded around between governments who all want to beat the crap out of him.
yeah.
And what I just
Plus, he's a psychopath. He doesn't have any actual emotions.
yeah. And then it ends up Ilsa is trying to kill him.
Oh yeah.
She shows up on a motorcycle.
Yeah,
and
because she
shoots at
was
him.
hired by the actual MI6.
The people, hired, they're basically threatening her, forcing her to do this.
Yeah. Blackmail.
Yeah. Because they think she's as much of a threat because she was undercover with him for multiple years.
The blackmail.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And then they set up a completely, so much goes on in one scene that it gets a bit too crazy. But
the interrogation scene
yeah,
of Lane?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
They bring Lane to London to meet with the broker. So they put him in a room, and then basically the earlier Walker had given a file to the woman, basically incriminating Ethan Hunt as I still can't remember his name.
John Lark?
Yeah, as Lark. So basically to put him away.
Yeah.
And so what's his name shows up.
Alec Baldwin's
Yeah,
character?
to do that. And then they have a whole mess around where they go to do the deal because they knocked out Alec Baldwin, but they leave Walker there to watch over Lane, but Walker is in cahoots with Lane to escape, but it turns out Lane was actually Simon Pegg, Benji,
Yeah.
in disguise. He fell for it, and they capture him, and then the rest of his, the CIA guys show up because she heard the whole thing, and she doesn't want any of them to get back to plutonium. She wants to do, I don't know what she had in mind, but the apostles show up and start shooting everybody, and Lane escapes, and then in the process, Walker stabs Alec Baldwin to death. Because there was a scene of him getting all his gear ready.
Yeah.
He just pulls out a knife and stabs him once. And
Yeah.
he gets away. Ethan Hunt chases after him after a not really that emotional, because it didn't really care much about Alec Baldwin's character.
I
Scene
mean,
where he dies.
it was meant to be more like a professional respect rather than a close friend. It was like they weren't friends for very long, and Ethan was clearly, you know, very upset that happened. But he knew, and Alec Baldwin's character knew, finish the mission.
Yeah. That was a lot of shit that happened basically in one scene. It got so convoluted that I was like trying to figure out what's going on, who's who, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Mission Impossible was known for.
You know, I almost burst out laughing. I had to in the middle of that scene before the reveal when Walker or Lark or whatever is like talking to Lane and and Lane is like I'm staying here. I have unfinished business with Ethan. And is like...
Here's the thing I noticed while you're mentioning this. They planned to do the drop, like the exchange, so they put... Excuse me.
Put an interrupting phone call.
Yeah. But they put a guy... had Benji put on a Lane mask.
Yeah.
And then the guy sitting in the chair was wearing a Lane mask, but turned out to be Benji.
Well,
so at some point they swapped the real Lane for Benji wearing a Lane mask.
Probably when they were carrying him away, and then they're all out of sight, and then Walker was closed down his. They told him to keep an eye on him. He didn't. He turned off the screen and closed his laptop while he got all his stuff and got ready to go down.
Oh, that's when they did it.
Yeah. They told him to keep an eye on him. He didn't. That was what did him in.
That's his own fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it turned out Walker is Lark.
Yeah, well, we already said that, but
no, we didn't exactly say it, but spoilers.
Yeah.
It was obvious, but
yeah,
he turned out to be Lark.
But yeah, back to my little anecdote here. When I almost burst out laughing, like when Simon Pegg playing Lane said, "I'm staying here. I have unfinished business with Ethan," and he's like, "Why did you have to go and make this so complicated?" I'm like, "Oh."
I was immediately like, the thing that's obvious to me. So like earlier in the movie, the CIA lady said something like, MI6 is just playing Halloween.
No, it wasn't MI6. It was MIF.
Oh, okay, MIF.
MI6 is the British.
Yeah, okay. But she's saying they're just kids
playing
Halloween, dressing up and wearing masks. And as soon as Walker started saying that, you saw the wheels in his head turn, and you immediately realized it's Benji in a mask. He's like wearing a mask, and you literally see the gears in his head turn and then Benji removes his mask. It's like, okay, you could you have made this less obvious, please? That's all I asked.
Yeah. There was one other really gripping fake out towards the end of the movie we'll get to.
Oh yeah. Because then now they have to travel to. I'm trying to think. Oh, they have a shootout. He chases Walker, who escapes in a helicopter with Lane.
Yeah.
Because Lane escaped in the gunfire.
Yeah.
Like in the madness of the gunfire, he got out. But they travel to, I can't remember where. It's near Turkey and China.
Yeah.
It's basically where Lark had set off the smallpox, because they had built a
little medical camp there. Yeah.
Where it turned out Ethan Hunt's wife worked, or ex-wife.
Yeah. Who was introduced in the third movie.
Yeah.
And briefly mentioned in the fourth movie.
Yeah, so they have a really awkward segment where he has to fake a name and brilliant doctor because she's gotten married, and it's all very awkward.
Yeah.
But they're basically looking for the 2 plutonium bombs. It's like they really can't explain how they disable the bomb is by basically almost letting it go off.
Yeah, because they can't disable it until the countdown starts.
And to do that, they have to take the detonator and take a key out of it. That's apparently the only flaw. Because of course it has a flaw, because it's a spy movie. It has to have a flaw.
Because, thermal exhaust port that's only 2 meters wide.
Well, Rogue One gave an explanation for that.
Yeah.
Whether you want to believe the explanation or not is up to you.
Yeah. A certain point of view.
A certain point of view.
Point of view! Anyway.
Point of view. So, Elsa, Benji, and Luther have to find the bombs while Ethan chases after Walker again.
And get to the chopper!
Because that's Ethan's favorite thing to do in the movie is run after Walker.
Yeah. Well, it's his favorite thing to do in every movie. Run and jump over and climb things.
They had this slightly amusing time where he's chasing after Walker and Benji keeps realizing, oh, he's fucked up with the iPad, and
Yeah,
he had it in 2D, and he had the screen
upside down.
Yeah, but it's just like, come on, Benji.
I mean, I know you're the comic relief, but come on, how you would have lasted this long on the field if you would.
Your character's supposed to be a tech expert.
Anyway, but yeah.
And he ends up in an office building and has to basically break a window, and everyone's looking at him like, who the hell are you? What are you doing in here? And one woman gets up off her chair and he throws the chair out the window and jumps off, and they go like, huh? What the hell was that? Basically. But it ends up Walker with the surprise of all surprises that he's the guardian angel of Ethan Hunt's ex-wife.
Yeah, the guardian angel. Basically, he sent an anonymous, fund to help their operation and all that.
Oh, he sent them basically. He told them they have to run the medical camp.
Yeah.
If they want the funding.
Yeah.
So basically a form of blackmail as well.
Well, not really. More of a, the thing is, it's blackmail is threatening someone. He didn't openly threaten them, even though the idea was to, but they weren't allowed to know that.
Yeah. But he just threatens to kill them if he sees Ethan again. And of course he sees Ethan again.
Yeah. Well, no, the blackmail was for Ethan, not them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It was a trap!
Yeah. So Ethan chases after him in the helicopter. We have hilarity within a helicopter. Everything that can go wrong, does go wrong for Ethan.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, in the trailers, Tom Cruise himself said they deliberately wanted to push these helicopters to their absolute breaking point because that was the idea of the scene. Pushing it to its breaking point.
Yeah. It worked.
Yeah.
I remember bringing it up so much, I didn't expect them to save it for the end of the movie. For some reason I thought they would get their rocks off earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
No, and then Ethan Hunt and Walker have a fight on the edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
And I believe Walker had some gasoline or something poured on his face.
Yeah, really heated fuel or something.
His face was all two-faced.
Yeah.
And melted and disfigured.
I was kind of hoping that they'd have him sort of escape at the end, so he'd be another recurring villain that would you ruined my face or something.
No, Ethan Hunt just knocks him off the edge of the mountain and he falls
I
into...
outright whispered this to you, I have had enough of you.
Yeah. But he falls into the exploding helicopter because obviously the helicopter explodes.
Yes.
It's falling off a mountain.
Explodium.
Yes. And he ends up saving the day. Although we mentioned there's a really good fake out where
where
the
just
bomb
about that they're because he's climbing up that cliff to try to get to the key in that
Detonator.
Detonator that he needs to pull out before they can, defuse it. It shows them that just cutting the wire simultaneously.
And then a giant, just like of white.
Yeah, like like a flash to white, and then
it makes you think the bombs went off.
And then Ethan is like hanging off the cliff and like looking over it, like it looks like almost like it's a mushroom cloud, but it fades away to turn as just a sunset.
The key is in his teeth.
And it's just a sunset and not a mushroom
He saved the
cloud.
day. He gets rescued by the woman who, I guess, randomly decided to be a hero.
Yeah.
And somehow find him after, apparently he'd been lying there for an hour, they said, before he was found. Because they had put in a tracking chip in him earlier, right before he went after Walker.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine it was still working, so they found him with that. But he has a lovely goodbye with his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Before, it was kind of amusing. Elisa said something basically you couldn't actually hear to the ex-wife. There was no audio for that.
Yeah.
And the movie ends without a reference to Jeremy Renner's character.
Yeah. I'm assuming there must have been like something in his Marvel contract that prevented him from being in this one, but I don't know.
Like they didn't even mention, because he was integral. He was a field agent in 4. From what I've seen.
Yeah.
And he was in 5 defending the IMF from being disbanded.
Yeah.
So they couldn't even mention him in 6. Like, no mention of what he was doing, why he wasn't out in the field, why he wasn't helping them. Just, nope, nothing.
Again, I can only assume it had to do with his Marvel contract. I don't know.
They should be allowed to say something.
We'll have to research that.
Like, come on, there must have been fans for Jeremy Renner's character.
I know, again, we'll have to research why that was. There had to have been a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, it was alright. It was fun. It told a cohesive story, I guess.
And I have a feeling Lane will, I'll get you next time, Ethan. Next time. Since they didn't kill him off in this one either. I really thought they were finally going to kill him off, because, like, what more can you do with him now? But, okay.
Make another movie, I guess.
Yeah, I know, but the entire time in this movie, he had this really long hobo beard, and it's like, it's kind of distracting. I know, I get why, but I mean, like...
It wasn't long, it was just full.
And, and scruffy, and, like, usually when a villain starts off having a scruffy beard like that, they, towards the middle or the end of the movie, they have a scene where they shave it off, and, but they didn't.
No, because he didn't have, well, I guess he had time to, but...
He just didn't care to. Like, he had plenty of time to shave it off.
Like, in the helicopter, waiting for Walker...
Or even just in that little wooden cabin house thing at the...
Where he ended up fighting Elsa and Benji and almost...
He could have
almost
trimmed that beard, but...
And almost hang Benji to death.
Yeah.
That was something that happened.
Yeah.
I actually felt a little bit nervous of like, are they going to kill anyone off? It's like, Benji came pretty close to death. He almost choked him.
I mean, they killed off Alec Baldwin's character, but, I kind of saw that coming.
I kind of thought they might do a fake out, but nope. Oh well. And so, don't next time.
I've been Ace, keep one up your sleeve.
And I'm that weird collector.
This video shall...
self-destruct in 5 seconds.
What the fuck?